Did he play on it?
Yeah. I think this was active, like maybe his first season playing, maybe. In Legacy of the Void.
Because Asher Bro is a StarCraft baby in my mind. So.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. But we are once again looking at the last king of the sea. We are looking at our Red Zerg player representing Team Gosu and Vietnam. It is MeomaikA.
Going for the 12 pool. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Ziomek.
Yeah, Ziomek is also on Blazer. Okay.
Oh boy, here we go. Is on Blazer, is getting 12 fooled, and 12 pulls on Death Aura hit a little bit different. Why? Well, we were focusing a lot on the lack of Overlord Pillar on this map, but the other thing is that we have speed zones in the middle of the map as well, and they do mean that 12 pulls do hit a little bit faster. Thankfully, Ziomek is going for a Probe Scout, and he should be able to recognize what he's up against.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Zerglings do be zooming.
Oh yeah.
I actually have a screenshot of that because it looks great when the links just zoom through the speed zones.
Yeah, we have a lot of screenshots. We have a lot of thumbnail screenshots for YouTube on Death Aura.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a great map aesthetically. It's actually beautiful.
For a long time we were using them, but here we go. The Lings are moving out. The probe does confirm this. Ziomek is fully aware of the build he's up against. Thankfully, on this map, it is a 2-building wall off, so not too much of the production here is exposed, as we are going to be chronoing out that Zealot and getting ready for the defense.
Yeah, but it looks like that will be about it for MeomaikA's aggression. Just these few links trying to see if they can get anything, as there was a drone coming up as well, so this is just to, you know, poke a bit at the Protoss and see what you can get.
Yeah, and he gets some decent service area on this Cyber Core as well. Ziomek has to be very careful not to get surrounded with his Zealot, as he does attempt to dance here with the Lings of MeomaikA, but the second Zealot is about to come out, and with 2 Zealots, we should be able to clean this up.
He did do a little bit of damage on that Cyber Core, but it should not be significant unless the fight comes very soon. And in the meantime, MeomaikA is just running.
Yeah, so we have a really interesting overall build here for MeomaikA. So he went for a 12 pool, but he only made 8 Lings instead of 10. Usually we go for 10 Lings here just to trade a little bit more and do more damage. So MeomaikA cut out those Lings, and on top of that, he is going into a very fast gas as well. Typically when you 12 pool, you delay the gas even further, you focus on 2 base economy, you get a 3rd base, and then you eventually get that gas geyser, but MeomaikA is prioritizing that quite a bit.
Yeah, and what do you think that gas may be for?
I don't know, it's MeomaikA, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Could be for a lair, it could be for roaches.
It's actually for Ultralisks.
Hey, oh yeah.
Getting ready.
But we are getting into Ling speed, but it's important to bear in mind as well, he is not pulling out a gas. So we have Ling speed on the way, and from here we can use this gas to go into a faster lair, or go into a Roach Warren, or maybe go into upgrades. We just see Ziomek is across the map with his Adept and is going to be threatening a Shade, but hasn't committed to anything yet. But did at least confirm, I think he was able to see the gas mining.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he saw the gas mining, but it's entirely possible. And we'll see what he does with that information. So far, he's going for that standard Oracle, so once again, we will see Oracle harassment on this map, and we'll see how it goes, because as we saw in the previous games, like, MeomaikA does not like making a lot of queens. He does a 3, but still.
Yeah, 3, that's good for the entire game, typically. So we'll see where we go from here. Ooh, a couple of these Overlords in the middle of the map are being caught out, though. MeomaikA a little bit out of position, will be losing one of his Overlords. Meanwhile, we have an abundance of gas right now, and again, I'm still really curious what this is going to be used for, as we're taking 2 more gases. Oh my god. And this is going to be great to go into... This is going to be great to either go into roaches or maybe even Hydra production once we get a lair, but we still don't have a lair. The lair feels really late.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying roaches, because if he wanted to go Hydra's, he would go for that early lair, and we do have a roach warren.
Yeah, we do have a bit of an counter attack. 1 Stalker will go down, so not a bad pickoff here from MeomaikA as he does rotate over towards the right-hand side instead. Gets eyes on the 3rd base, and there's that roach warren. There is that lair as well. But again, no Evo chambers yet either, so we're not going to be focusing on too many upgrades. We're not really thinking that far ahead.
I mean, look, sometimes quantity can be better than quality in terms of roaches, anyway.
I mean, hey, that's a laser's mantra, and that can be applicable
Look,
here as well. Meanwhile, Ziomek is going double Stargate Phoenixes. Oh my god.
did he think he's taking the gas for the Spire?
Well, he didn't see the third and fourth gas. Like, he's in the darkest. He has no idea what MeomaikA is doing right now. But he's just opting to go for, yeah, Mass Phoenix instead. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have a Link counterattack here at the third base. Probes are being focused down.
Yeah, they are falling down, but to be fair, Phoenixes can work against roaches, I guess, because you can lift them, but if there's support of Zerglings, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. So an interesting choice here. Ziomek is keeping these Phoenixes hidden in the main base. They're slowly banking up. Meanwhile, MeomaikA is working on roach speed. He is cutting workers here at 53, and he's making nothing but roaches.
Do you think this will be like a Phoenix harassment force that will just dive in and just kill every single drone on the map?
It definitely can. Definitely can. It can pick up all these overlords and get out of control. We're getting into double robo production behind this. This is almost like a Phoenix Colossus setup, actually. So very interesting stuff here from Ziomek. And MeomaikA is giving us some mixed signals. We have double Evo chambers being thrown down for 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for those roaches, so may as well get the upgrades. Maybe a bit late than usual, but still can work. But at the same time, the Phoenixes are moving in.
Yeah, Phoenixes are moving in, and this may just end the game because we only have 3 queens. We don't have a lot of queens to deal with this, and now we only have 2 queens. A Hydrogen gets thrown down in response, but this is a late reaction from MeomaikA. Every single overlord's going to go down. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, look, roaches don't shoot up. That's what I'm saying. But the roaches are going across the map.
Yeah, exactly. MeomaikA sees all these Phoenixes. He knows that he can't really do anything about it, so he's sending everything across the map. We do have a recall back home.
Yeah, the Phoenixes get recalled and they will try to lift some of these roaches, but that will be very slow to deal with them, and they just move forward towards the probes.
Yeah, exactly. The wall's not a wall. The roaches flood on forward as well. As you were saying, Phoenixes, nothing shoots up, but Phoenixes take a long time to deal with all these roaches, and by the time the roaches die, they may just kill every single worker.
Yeah, there's not much on the ground at all. The robots only just started production, so they can't support Ziomek either.
Ooh.
And the roaches are just in the main base.
Wow, we had Void Rays being produced, but the Stargates get depowered just in time. The Void Rays will not come out, and again, every single probe is falling as we speak. We do have 2 Immortals on the way, but the roaches don't care. They're just following these probes and hunting them down.
Yeah, I mean, eventually Phoenixes will be able to clean up this army slowly. Very slowly, but they will be able to clean up the roaches, but by the time MeomaikA will just reinforce.
And the probes, they pass through the roaches again, and we are down to only 22 probes remaining, basically 1 mining base worth of workers. We have Lings reinforcing. They're hitting the third base. The third base is going to go down.
Yeah, the Lings will definitely have much easier time dealing with the Immortals than roaches did, and they just run straight forward.
Yeah, they don't care about the Immortals. They go straight for the mineral line, and so they know what they need to do to win this game. The Void Rays have finally come out, but every single probe is going down. Again, the roaches just were never scouted. They were never confirmed. He didn't realize how committed MeomaikA was being, and even though he had no answer to the Phoenixes, likewise, Ziomek had no answer for the roaches.
Yeah, and he ends up with 5 probes total to over 50 of MeomaikA. So even if he attacks now, like, he may get some damage, but I'm pretty sure MeomaikA can just out-micro him.
Well, again, if you remember when when the Phoenixes were revealed, MeomaikA threw down a Hydrogen, and now Hydras are already coming out. They're being banked up back at home. We already have Hydra speed. Hydra range is on the way. Ling Hydra is going to do so well against Immortals and Phoenixes. GG gets called. MeomaikA will take game number 1.
GG.
GG, well played. What a what an interesting game. Ziomek going for his own build, going for his own thing, blindly going into Mass Phoenix, and I could see the logic behind it, and it was doing a lot of damage. I think specifically against MeomaikA, it can work really well. But he also, with his Oracles and Adepts, he wasn't scouting the bases of MeomaikA. He wasn't checking to confirm the drone count. He wasn't checking to confirm what MeomaikA was doing as well.
Like, people were complaining that Exo Striker was playing too standard versus MeomaikA. Well, Ziomek tried to play something non-standard, but as you said, like, it was missing a few pieces, you know. Like the Phoenixes, were able to deal decent damage, but like by the time they came in, like MeomaikA was already like halfway across the map, and he had so many roaches.
Yeah, so this was just a gamble from both players. Like neither player knew what the other was doing. Like they had MeomaikA had no idea what Ziomek was doing. Ziomek had no idea what MeomaikA was doing. They just rolled the dice, did their builds, and then we saw what happened. And so
I love it.
yeah, MeomaikA just happened to roll well, and he just happened to have a good response to the mass Phoenixes. Yeah, not too much like counterplay was really happening there. It was just they both just did their own things. GG.
Yeah, it did work out better for MeomaikA, but I mean, Ziomek still has a chance. He can bring it back in the second game. And once again, as a reminder, these players are fighting about the elimination.
Yes, they are fighting for their lives right now. We're going to be loading into game number 2, and once again, we're getting into an older map. We're going to be loading in to Jagannatha.
Whose map pick it was, do you think? Who picked Death Aura? Who picked Jagannatha?
Ziomek probably picked Death Aura, and Mio picked Jagannatha. Jagannatha is more of a Zerg map, and Death Aura is more of a Protoss map.
I just find it interesting that both of the maps are from the older map pool.
True.
Anyway, we are now once again with the last King of the Sea. We are looking at the red Zerg player representing Team Gosu and Vietnam. It is MeomaikA.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Ziomek. Boy, MeomaikA just needs one more Unomas to win it all, and it's a little bit of a shame as well. I just realized that we've been seeing a little bit of Jagannatha, we've been seeing some Death Aura as well, but we haven't seen Lightshade today, the other map.
Wait, which one?
Lightshade.
Lightshade. Okay. Not to be confused with Nightshade.
No. So yeah, a bit of a shame that we haven't seen. We saw that in day 2, but we haven't seen it here at all in day 4. So, unfortunately, not getting as much map variety. But regardless, we've been getting some really good games. And once again, MeomaikA goes for a pool first opener.
Yeah, and once again, he is denied at Natura as well by Ziomek. Is it me, or is Jagannatha quite popular in the OSC tournaments?
It was a good map. It's a good map, it's kind of big and wide open in the middle, but at the same time, these 4 bases can be relatively well defended as well. So not the worst map for Protoss or Terran in that respect. And yeah, this was a pretty well regarded map back in the day as well. It wasn't really too hated by people.
I just find it interesting that it's picked so many times, like in favor of like different, in favor of like. As opposed to the current map pool. Like, people would rather play on Jagannatha.
100%. I'd love to play on Jagannatha instead of like Gresvan or Royal Blood. Yeah, here we go. We are getting into this. The other important thing to take note of is that this was a pool gas opener from MeomaikA. Because of his delay on the natural, he was forced to take that gas geyser. And with that, he's going to have faster link speed than normal and faster gas in general than normal.
Yeah. Unfortunate for that probe, as it was on the wrong side of the wall, and it will be sniped by these few links.
The probe does go down, and we'll be keeping an eye on this gas count from MeomaikA. He rushes into link speed, and now, if he wants to, he can go into a fast lair as well. We'll see what MeomaikA decides to do with that extra gas. Meanwhile, Ziomek is not playing standard. Ziomek wants to be aggressive.
Yeah, he goes for a quick Twilight Council, no Stargate, no nothing, and we'll see what he uses it for. So far we only have these 2 gates, so we'll see what comes out next.
Yeah, we'll see if this is going to be... Yeah, there we go. This is going to be Glaive Adepts. Workers are pulled out of those gas geysers. There is that Robo as well, and this is looking to be a 4-gate Glaive Adept setup, but we'll see here as Twilight Council is done, and there we go. Glaives is on the way.
Okay, Glaives. I can see that. And I mean, I guess it depends what MeomaikA does. He goes for that quick lair once again. I mean, it's not as quick as we saw before, but it's still pretty fast.
Oh yeah, that is a very fast lair. Now we know what that gas was for. He went into link speed, into a lair. This is looking like a Nidus once again, but MeomaikA is taking a second gas geyser here at the natural. So we'll see if he's going to be committing to the Nidus or if he goes for a Roach Warren instead. Oh, his links get in.
Oh yeah, a few of them do. 2 of them do actually. And they will be sniped by the pros, but they were able to scout the entire base.
Yeah, and this is very important. And there we go. So he was able to confirm the Twilight Council. He saw it researching. He saw the robo. He knows about the glaives coming across the map. And MeomaikA, in the face of glaives, throws down a Hydra Den. Very bold move from MeomaikA. Ling Hydra, not the best unit composition against Glaive Adepts, but we'll see how it does here as the 4 gateways are done and Ziomek is moving out across the map.
Yeah, I feel like MeomaikA just planned to go Hydras, and he's like, you know what? I'm still gonna go Hydras. And we'll just see where we get from here. I mean, he is making a lot of links, but as you said, like Link Hydra is not ideal versus all these Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, we'll see how we do. I mean, the Lings are going to be able to deal with a low amount of Adepts. The initial wave shouldn't be too threatening. It's about the follow-up. As Ziomek is already transitioning, he's getting into an Immortal already.
Yeah, that's also pretty good for Hydra. It all depends on the numbers here, really, and how is MeomaikA able to position.
Yeah, exactly, as the Adepts are threatening in between the bases now, but we get a full surround instead. A little bit of miscontrol from Ziomek does save 4 of his Adepts, but it looks like Ziomek is feeling very unconfident about his push. He's backing off, and now MeomaikA is rushing across the map.
Yeah, there are some defensive Adepts warped in, and the first Immortal is out, but there's not a lot of defenses on this side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Shield batteries are still on the way, and again, Ziomek very quickly was feeling, wasn't feeling too good about his push and was transitioning immediately into that Immortal, and we do see MeomaikA now with map control. He backs off, and he's droning.
Okay. So where do we go from here? Like, do we just go full on like Link Bane Hydra, or do we add lurkers? Like, where do we go from here?
I mean, I think MeomaikA has the right of it. All he has to do really is just make sure Ziomek stays on 2 bases, backs off, macros up, and focuses on building up that Ling Bane Hydra army, as you were saying. There's nothing really pressuring MeomaikA from trying to break the natural base. He checks and he sees the defensive position, and he knows that he doesn't want any of that.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know if he will be able to contain Ziomek with this army that he has, because he only really has links to do so, and there's a lot of Glaive Adepts on this side of the map.
Well, Ziomek throws down 2 more gateways, so he's going for a 2-base all-in. He is not getting a 3rd base at all. Ziomek wants to end the game one way or another. He's rushing across the map with everything he has, and thankfully for MeomaikA, he's not over-droning. He's cutting workers at 58, and he's focusing on producing army instead, so MeomaikA is going to be ready for this.
Yeah, I think it's also very important that he is working on these Bane links, so they should be ready by the time the Adepts arrive. They are still slow, they have no speed, but maybe they can find some connections.
Yeah, and here we go. The Banelings are rushing on forward here. They do force a bit of a split, but they're actually going to connect with the sentries.
Ooh, they take down a few important units, but most of the Adepts do survive, so now it's time for wave 2.
Yeah, but there's nothing to stop the surround. The Lings come in, the Hydras as well. The sentries were focused down earlier by those Banelings, and now we see Ziomek just crumbling.
Yeah, the Immortal goes down, the Hydras are cleaning up the War Priest, and the Adepts are being chased.
Yeah, exactly. The Prism goes down, the Immortal as well. There are only a handful of Adepts remaining, and now MeomaikA has full control of the map, full control of the game. Only a single Adept survives.
Yeah, Ziomek is without an army. MeomaikA decides to take another base, but his army is moving forward. He may be able to finish the game.
Yeah, exactly. There's just not much left to defend. We have a couple of Adepts. GG gets called, and MeomaikA will take the series 2-0.
Nicely done by Meo. Like, it didn't feel that confident, but it worked out great for him.
Yeah, GG, well played. Yeah, Ziomek, he was very quick to divert out of his initial Glaive Adept plan and very quick to start Immortal production as well. It was really odd to see. I do think that he could have found some success if he had just continued to like poke and prod with his Adepts and look for a shade into a natural and maybe expand behind it. But I'm sure he was very flustered when he saw that MeomaikA was rushing into Hydras of all things. That really like threw a wrench in the works. I can't imagine Ziomek plays against that quite often, and yeah, his reaction to that, his response to that was to go for his own all-in.
Yeah. I do wonder if the Adepts could have done more damage if he committed to that attack at that like initial moment, but he opted not to, and eventually MeomaikA was able to overpower this.
Yeah, exactly. GG, well played. MeomaikA will advance on in the tournament to the next round. Where does he have an opponent waiting for him? Let's just double check that here as we look at the bracket itself. Again, a very large bracket. We're looking at the lower portion. MeomaikA, he advances on to face... Where is it? I don't see it. You see him?
Oh yeah, MeomaikA played Exostrike, right?
Yeah, okay, so he's going to be facing the loser of 45, which is... MeomaikA is going to be facing the loser of Honmono versus MaxPax.
Imagine Honmono versus MeomaikA.
Yeah, we've had that before, and we can have that again.
It's a pretty good series.
It's good, it's good. So best of luck to Honmono as he's going to be facing off against MaxPax, and if he loses, he'll be facing MeomaikA in the lower bracket, so... Oh boy, it's going to be quite a spicy series there. And yeah, again, a shout out to, or congratulations to MeomaikA. Shout out to Ziomek though, he did put up a good fight. Alas, wasn't able to overcome MeomaikA in the end, and he is eliminated.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ziomek, because as you said, those were pretty interesting games. There were some nice ideas there, but they didn't quite work out in the end.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. They just wasn't able to really have that all come to fruition. And yeah, with that is our final series done for the day. We had 7 best of 3s, and we were able to work through every single one of them. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves. We had a lot of really good matches. We had some insane upsets as well. The highlight of the night, I still feel, is Dark versus Young Yakov. If you didn't tune in, if you weren't here live, check out the VODs, because Dark versus Young Yakov was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, Young Yakov played some crazy games, and he got some results. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I highly recommend checking out the VODs there. The other big highlights were Mana versus Cham. Mana versus Cham was pretty intense as well. And we also had some other really good kind of showcases for players, like MaxPax versus Eba and Beyond versus Kaz. So a lot of great games were had. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in and for checking out this tournament. As you can imagine, because the bracket is so large, this is an event that is played out over the course of a couple of months. Every week matches are played, and so far we've been alternating between ourselves and Dave Testa. I believe Dave Testa casted day 1 and day 3, and we have casted day 2 and day 4. So we have been kind of bouncing back and forth with who has been covering what day. I imagine for the finals, typically Wardy casts the finals, and I imagine that's probably going to be the case again. But keep an eye out on the Team Liquid calendar. Keep an eye out on social media for where the next day of StarCraft is going to be had.
Yeah, typically the Team Liquid calendar is the best, or the TLNet calendar is the best place to look for those. And this is a big bracket once again, so there will be a lot of matches coming because all of those matches are casted.
Oh yeah, they are all casted, they are all there, and I guess the other thing that we should be pointing out and attempting to promote as well is that there is a way to support the OSC Annual Championship. So this is the mid-season playoffs. You know, we're still mid-season, we're not at the end of the year yet, but the way this works is that OSC is a tournament organizer, a kind of a major umbrella organizer for so many StarCraft events, and over the course of the year, points are gathered by all these players, and they all play off in a world finals and a grand finals at the end of the year. the OSC Annual Championships. And yeah, it's been really intense. It's kind of a major part of the online StarCraft circuits. I feel like it is online StarCraft, basically. OSC, I should say. And you can support it as well. I believe OSC, they have a MyCause account, which is kind of like, I guess, Kickstarter, or kind of like GoFundMe, for example. It's a way where you can support the tournament yourself if you wish. If you have the spare money for it, if you have the spare resources, you can check out their MyCause.
Yeah, feel free to do so.
Do you have anything else?
No, I mean, you said it pretty well. Like OSC is the like umbrella of online tournaments. Like most online tournaments that you see nowadays, like the regular ones, like the Chicken Man events, like Cranky Ducklings events, like I don't know, like CSO events as well, CSO esports. Like most of those tournaments will also like give players points towards the OSC ranking. So really, most of the online StarCraft scene is connected to OSC in some way.
Yeah, pretty much. They even have the past champions there. I'm actually showing it on screen. They have in 2013, the champion was Pig, and then Gumiho in 2014, Solar in 2015, Bjorn in 2016, which is peak Bjorn. 2016, that was when he was the BlizzCon champion. Then we've got Neeb, Solar, Cure, Clem, Zest, and MaxPax last year as well. I appreciate that they have a graphic for MaxPax. It's like a hidden figure with the Danish flag behind him. Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, that's what he looks like. I don't know what you mean.
True. He was last year's champion. And it's also great to see that Solar's won it twice, and they have different photos for him as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Also, I don't know if that's still a thing, but for a while, OSC was doing like portraits of the champions.
True. Yeah. For a while they were doing that as well. But yeah, the link is in the chat. So if you're interested, if you want to support the OSC Annual Championship for 2023, then there is a site to do so if you wish. Otherwise, the best that we can ask for is for you to just follow the tournament and tune in to all the games that are played, because there are so many games, so many matches, so many players. And yeah, it's kind of a pretty big, important part of StarCraft now, especially after we kind of shifted to the online circuit of StarCraft, and we're getting a little bit less support from Blizzard, and all these other grassroots organizers have to kind of step it up a little bit more, and they're kind of filling in where otherwise Blizzard isn't.
I'm nodding.
So yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all had a great time in the chat. And Kuro, where can people find more of you? Who are you? I saw some people were like, yo, who's the new caster on the Cranky Ducklings? You don't cast too often.
I am a clam and a jersey, apparently. And I'm generally the behind the scenes person of Cranky Ducklings. I made the social media posts, I make the templates for everything, I make overlays, I make tournament pages, I admin the tournaments nowadays, but that's not always the case. Like I do everything that's like not being on camera, basically. But every now and then Light drags me to cast, and then you can hear the clam as well. Apparently clams have voices, the more you know.
There you go. Can confirm.
So if you want to find more of me, then join the Cranky Ducklings Discord, because I've just been doing the Cranky Ducklings stuff the entire time. I don't have time to stream.
Yeah, it's Kuro is a co-founder of the Cranky Ducklings. Myself and Kuro, we started the Cranky Ducklings many years ago at this point, and we have been having a lot of different initiatives, a lot of different projects in StarCraft as well.
Speaking of, it's 2023, so the Cranky Ducklings as Cranky Ducklings are now 6 years old.
There you go. We've been
because we created the Cranky Ducklings like as under that name around May 2017.
There you go. 6 years. We've been around for 6 years, and hopefully we'll be around for another 6 more years after this. We've been doing this for quite some time. Still, of course, growing our channel and trying to make it for ourselves and also do what we can for StarCraft and for the scene. We're doing what we can. We're doing our best. And yeah, it's been, I can't believe it's been 6 years. It's been so long.
Yeah. Yes.
We've been able to see Yaku just as a baby grow up into an adolescent.
No, you're actually, this is not a joke. We, like, the CranKy Ducklings have been able to see Yaku grow up. That's fascinating.
True. Very true. Starduck as well, Oreo as well. I remember when they were all...
Yeah, I guess that is true, although we knew Starduck and Oreo more like as players. Meanwhile, like, Yaku was on the stream the entire time.
See, no clue. I witnessed Yaku birthing from the cosmic egg. Oh.
That would explain a lot.
As soon as the egg cracked and Yaku was being birthed to...
Pretty much, no, yeah.
Coming into existence. Let's go.
Actually, Yaku intros at the very beginning of CranKy Ducklings were something else.
Oh yeah.
I still have most of them recorded.
They were twice as long as they are now. They were...
Twice?
3 times. There were some games back in the day where Yaku would be introducing a player and I would have to cut him off because the game would be ending. Like
yeah, pretty much.
Because there's like a 13-12 happening or something.
I think my favorite intro there was that this is Terran Lord.
Oh.
Like the words just left Yaku.
Shaking.
There was nothing else.
Shaking my head. But yes, thank you so much, everyone tuning in. Thanks so much for the support. If you want to follow myself, you can follow me at @_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do usually stream throughout the week whenever we're not casting. I was supposed to stream today, but last minute cast. We were here on the CranKy Ducklings instead. So if you're interested in some Zerg ladder gameplay, if you're interested in some Diablo 2, because I really want to play some more Diablo 2, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll be live tomorrow on my channel. Otherwise, follow us on the CranKy Ducklings all over the place. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. You can support us on Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. We actually got a new patron last night, and we are slowly making our way closer to that goal to fully fund our tournaments. We're almost halfway there. So if you want to support the Ducklings, Patreon is the place to do it. As we are running our tournaments, we are trying to grow them. We are trying to help them be more influential and more impactful to the smaller regions that we try to target, like Latin America, like Oceania, like Southeast Asia. That's kind of our goal for those events. North America as well. So if you're interested, you can check us out there. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Happy Day of the Duck.
Quack.
Quack.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. For some more World Team League. Bye.
Bye.